The honourable member for Banks.
Well, thank you, Deputy Speaker, and it's really good to get a chance to talk about economic leadership on the part of the government and the extraordinary lack thereof from those opposite. And I think nowhere is this more clear than in the area of taxation and tax policy, because, of course, tax is one of the biggest levers, if not the biggest lever, that government possesses. And if you look at this government's record, Deputy Speaker, you see a very consistent approach on taxation, which is about lower and fairer taxation. And just very recently, just before Christmas, back in the innovation statement on the 2nd of December, the government said if you invest in a start-up business, if you back a start-up business and you help it get off the ground, and if that business is successful, you make a profit, you won't pay capital gains tax in the future. Now, that's a great policy, Deputy Speaker, because what that means is businesses will be able to raise funds with greater confidence. Investors will know if the investment works out, their return will be greater. And what does that mean? That means more money into start-up businesses. That's a very good example of sensible tax policy. We did something very similar in relation to a tax rebate of 20% on people's income tax return, effectively, for those investments in start-up businesses. This is current new government policy just before Christmas, and it demonstrates the clear philosophy of this government when it comes to tax, as indeed does our earlier abolition of those very bad and little lamented carbon and mining taxes. Now, what about those opposite? What about those opposite? We've heard a little bit more from them in recent weeks, and of course they describe as a reform, capital R, inverted commas, reform, Deputy Speaker. But of course what we've seen from those opposite in the last couple of weeks are two additional tax increases, and these ones are going to have a very, very severe effect on the wealth of Australian households and on the broader Australian economy. Now, let's talk about this negative gearing proposal from those opposite. Now, the key point here is they say that investors can only claim interest as a tax deduction if they invest in new homes, not in existing homes. Now, Deputy Speaker, every single home in Australia today, by definition, is an existing home. Can't be new if it exists, right? So every single one of the homes in Australia, which is about 9 million, give or take, is an existing home. So under Labor's policy, once it comes in the unfortunate event that they're elected, from the middle of next year, investors won't be able to claim an interest deduction on any new investment in any existing home anywhere in Australia. And we know from ABS data that about 1/3 of investors in Australian residential property are investors as opposed to owner-occupiers. 1/3. So the proposition from those opposite is you can take out this fundamental principle of tax law, which is that you can claim interest as a tax deduction, take it out of the system completely, with the obvious consequence that investors will leave that sector and have no impact on prices. Now, that is just an absurd proposition, Deputy Speaker. Just think about that. The notion that you can take 1/3 of the potential buyers for an asset and just take them out of the market and say, but everything will just go on fine. The prices will stay the same, continue to rise as they would have anyway. I mean, that's just absurd. That is absurd, Deputy Speaker. And if that was asserted in any other sector of the economy, imagine someone said that to car dealers. We're going to take 1/3 of the people out of the car yards, but it won't have any impact on your ability to sell cars. It'd be an extraordinary proposition. So this is just an extraordinarily badly thought-through policy. This is something that came out of a Labor-aligned think tank, this is one of those things that might be fun to sort of kick around in a think tank, Deputy Speaker, but that's where it should have stayed, because this is a very, very bad policy for ordinary Australian families. The other thing they do is they say, let's put capital gains tax up effectively by 50%. So they reduce the reduction from 50% to 25%. So let's say your marginal tax rate is 48%. You would have paid 24 cents before. Now you'll pay 36 circa, give or take, with the Medicare levy. That means your capital gains tax goes up by half. So that is going to hurt investment in business, in agriculture, in housing, in all sorts of sectors. It's entirely counterproductive. It shows a distinct lack of understanding of how real-world economics works, and it is to the eternal discredit of those opposite, and a reminder of why they must never be elected.